Where shall I go? What shall I do?
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
If you could go back in time and watch one classic Hollywood film again for the first time, which one would it be? Truth is, the golden age of Hollywood gave us some of the best movies ever made. When stars like Clark Gable and Audrey Hepburn lit up the screen, movies felt truly magical. Join us as we take a nostalgic trip back and relive 10 of the greatest classic films ever made in Hollywood. Number 10, West Side Story. Who can forget the electrifying West Side Story? We can all agree that this was a game changer in the world of musicals. The story of Tony and Maria, set against the gritty backdrop of New York City's gang rivalry, was a modern-day Romeo and Juliet that hit us right in the feels. Natalie Wood and Richard Beymer captured young love's intensity perfectly, while Rita Moreno and George Chakiris added depth and fire to their roles.
You're all the beautiful...
Sí, ya vengo, Papa.
Every scene, every song, and every dance move made West Side Story unforgettable. And those songs by Leonard Bernstein and Stephen Sondheim, they stuck with us long after the curtain fell. Number 9, Singin' in the Rain. Singin' in the Rain, talk about pure joy on film. Gene Kelly's effortless charm and those incredible dance moves brought Don Lockwood to life in a way that still leaves us mesmerized. Remember Debbie Reynolds as Kathy Selden? She was just delightful, and Donald O'Connor's comedic timing, especially in Make 'em Laugh, was absolute perfection. The whole movie poked fun at the chaos of Hollywood transitioning from silent films to talkies, and it did so with such humor and heart. Each musical number was more infectious than the last, but Kelly's dance sequence in the rain,
I'm laughing at clouds so dark up above.
now that's an iconic moment in cinema that never gets old. It's impossible to watch without feeling a bit of that old magic. Number 8, Citizen Kane. Citizen Kane is one of those films that makes you realize why they call it the golden age of Hollywood. Directed by and starring the genius Orson Welles, it's often hailed as the greatest film ever made, and it's easy to see why. The story of Charles Foster Kane, the powerful yet lonely newspaper magnate, unfolds through a series of flashbacks, creating a rich, complex narrative that keeps you hooked.
Your only correspondent is the Inquirer.
Sometimes I think I'd prefer a rival of flesh and blood.
Welles's innovative techniques, like deep focus cinematography and non-linear storytelling, were revolutionary at the time. These made Citizen Kane one of the most interesting movies at the time. And let's not forget the mysterious Rosebud, a single word that added layers of intrigue and kept audiences guessing long after the credits rolled. Watching Citizen Kane feels like uncovering a piece of cinematic history every single time. Number 7, Wizard of Oz. Judy Garland, with her wistful eyes and enchanting voice, made us fall in love with this film. We can all agree that Wizard of Oz holds a special place in our hearts, doesn't it? Released in 1939, this adaptation of L. Frank Baum's classic novel swept us away from the mundane to the magical. Judy Garland's portrayal of Dorothy Gale, with her heartfelt rendition of Somewhere Over the Rainbow, captured our imaginations and emotions.
Did you say something? He said,
We felt her longing to return home, just as we were enchanted by the whimsical world of Oz. The Scarecrow, Tin Man, and Cowardly Lion were more than just characters, they were friends we all wished we had. And let's not forget the Wicked Witch of the West, whose terrifying presence was balanced by Glinda, the Good Witch. The blend of heartfelt storytelling, unforgettable music, and groundbreaking special effects ensured this film's place in cinema history. Number 6, Rebecca. When a phenomenal filmmaker creates a masterpiece, it is impossible to forget it. Alfred Hitchcock's Rebecca was pure suspense and mystery. Laurence Olivier as the enigmatic Maxim de Winter and Joan Fontaine as his shy new wife pulled us into a world overshadowed by the ghost of Rebecca, Maxim's first wife. Judith Anderson's creepy portrayal of Mrs. Danvers still sends shivers down our spines. Fontaine's performance made us feel every bit of her fear and uncertainty. Hitchcock's direction kept us on the edge of our seats, making Rebecca an unforgettable cinematic experience. Number 5. Roman Holiday. There is no denying that Roman Holiday introduced us to the bright and bubbly Audrey Hepburn.
I am so glad to hear you say it.
Watching her as Princess Anne, escaping her royal duties to explore the streets of Rome, felt like a dream. Gregory Peck as Joe Bradley, the charming journalist who falls for her, was perfect. Their chemistry was magical, making us root for their romance even though we knew it couldn't last. The stunning Roman scenery added to the film's charm, making Roman Holiday a delightful escape to a world of love and adventure. Number 4. Double Indemnity. Double Indemnity is the quintessential film noir that drew us into its web of deceit and murder. Fred McMurray as the slick insurance salesman Walter Neff and Barbara Stanwyck as the seductive Phyllis Dietrichson were a perfect match in their sinister plot.
Sometimes it can't quite make it on its own. It has to have a little help.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Of course, it doesn't have to be.
Their chemistry was electric, making their journey into darkness both fascinating and chilling. Billy Wilder's direction, combined with the sharp dialogue and moody cinematography, created a film that is as thrilling today as it was back then. Number 3. To Kill a Mockingbird. To Kill a Mockingbird is one of those timeless classics that just tugs at your heartstrings and makes you think. Gregory Peck as Atticus Finch was simply unforgettable.
Before she broke it, but it came crashing down on her afterwards.
Bringing such dignity and strength to the role of a lawyer fighting against racial injustice in the Deep South. His calm, steady demeanor and moral courage made him a hero in every sense of the word. And who could forget young Scout, played by Mary Badham? Her wide-eyed innocence and curiosity about the world around her brought a sense of wonder and authenticity to the story. To Kill a Mockingbird isn't just a movie, it's an experience that stays with you. Number 2. Casablanca. Casablanca is undoubtedly the ultimate classic romance.
Put it on the plane. Yes, official.
Set during World War II, it stars Humphrey Bogart as the cynical yet charming Rick Blaine and Ingrid Bergman as Ilsa Lund, his former lover. Their unexpected reunion in a city teeming with refugees and spies reignited old passions and moral dilemmas. The film's unforgettable lines, like "Here's looking at you, kid," and its exploration of love, sacrifice, and duty have cemented its status as a cinematic masterpiece. Number 1. Gone with the Wind. Gone with the Wind is the granddaddy of epic romances, isn't it? Remember those sweeping landscapes and that unforgettable score.
Forgive me. I'll never understand or forgive myself. And if a bullet gets me, so help me, I'll laugh at myself for being an idiot.
Vivian Lee's Scarlett O'Hara and Clark Gable's Rhett Butler took us on a wild ride through their turbulent love story, set against the dramatic backdrop of the Civil War. Scarlett's fiery spirit and Rhett's roguish charm created a chemistry that was simply electric. Despite the film's controversial take on history, its emotional depth and sheer grandeur made it an experience you couldn't forget. The larger-than-life sets, the dramatic turns of the story, and those iconic lines, frankly, my dear, all come together to ensure that Gone with the Wind remains a timeless classic, etched in the memories of all who experienced it. Did we miss your favorite classic Hollywood movie? Let us know in the comments section and hit the subscribe button for more interesting videos about old Hollywood.